It don't happen, my people, because this time around, Oshiomhole and Iyamu at loggerhead, and they are seriously at war. Perhaps it could be a propaganda, but this is the report reaching us that both Iyamu and Oshiomhole are in serious war. And this war seems like it is something really very serious, because the two were said to have clashed at a meeting on Friday, just like it was with that of the People's Democratic Party that was also said it wasn't true. But really, no report has come back to tell us that this very report is not true. But what we're able to gather was that Iyamu and Oshiomhole are in serious war. Anyway, I'll bring you details of this shortly, but before then, guys, if you haven't subscribed, please, what are you waiting for? Ensure you hit the subscribe button, and don't forget to give this video a thumbs up. Yes, and don't forget, this is Saffron Media, where we give you trending, exciting, reliable, and authentic happenings. So guys, if you want the latest, most trending, exciting, reliable, and authentic happenings, this is where you should be and where you should find that. Okay, without further ado, let us quickly dive right into the details of this report and why they are at war. Ahead of the September 19 governorship election in Edo State, Oshiomhole and the APC candidate, which is his new purported godson, Iyamu, are at loggerheads over campaign strategies. The two were said to have clashed at a meeting on Friday. Also in attendance were several members of Oshiomhole's team, including the nonsense-making former House of Representative member and Chief of Staff to Adams Oshiomhole, Patrick Obiahiagbon. It was gathered that the disagreement ensued when Iyamu commenced the meeting by saying that the simple agenda have been accepted by the people of Edo State, and Oshiomhole quickly interrupted his boy, saying that he must be a joke if he thinks that's how it intends to win, if that is how he intends to win the coming election, by merely selling a mandate to the people in addition to bribing them for votes. He reminded the APC candidate that he has invested a lot in him, telling him that their simple agenda is to bring back the lions and tigers to the streets, saying that the election must be won by thuggery and bloodshed. Tension heightened when Iyamu disagreed with some of his methods, telling his newfound godfather that he preferred they use the violence solely for rigging purposes and not intimidate voters. That was when all hell was let loose, as Oshiomhole couldn't keep his calm any longer. And what do you know about election? He said, I know how to win, and to win you must play dirty. I have won elections and I have helped people win election. Do you think we will win with your senseless simple agenda? I am the one funding you, so I get to choose how to secure my investment. We must win at all costs. It is obvious you are still a novice in this political game. If you're not ready for this, then return to your church and continue to scream, he said. Attempts were made by Patrick Obiahiagbon to pacify things, but an angry Oshiomhole wouldn't stop. A timid Iyamu begged the godfather to forgive him for his foolishness and agreed that thuggery was the way to go. Oshiomhole stormed out of the meeting, labeling Iyamu weak and clueless. Well, it seemed to be a week of propaganda because, of course, we just got the report of that of the People's Democratic Party just a few days ago. And, they're still yet to get out of that. And now that of the APC is also out. These things could, of course, obviously, we know that they are propagandas just to, sell themselves to the public. Because right here, Oshiomhole was angry with Iyamu, but we're waiting for the report from Oshiomhole to address the public that this propaganda is actually not true. Perhaps it is true, perhaps it is not true, but that is the report we got from Edo State on Friday. But we just hope that they will speak about this very soon, just as Godwin Obaseki and his running mate also came out to speak that none of that was true, that it was just a plot by the APC to destroy, their plans and strategies regarding the election. And the same fate has fallen on the people, on the All Progressive Congress candidates and the godfather of the state, Adams Oshiomhole. They had a serious disagreement, and this war between them, if it's actually true, we hope that they actually settle themselves, because of course Adams Oshiomhole says he has won so many elections and he's still going to win the election. He said, but the way Iyamu is going about it is likely not to win the election. He said nobody wins an election with just going about preaching simple agenda and talking about giving people little bribes to vote for them during the election. That he has to go the way of thuggery and violence. That is the only language that people understand during politics. And Iyamu actually did not agree to that and says that that is not the way to go. And he called him a small boy that is just a novice in the game of politics, that he has been there and has done so many things in politics, that Iyamu should not be the one to tell him what to do when it comes to politics, that if this is the way he wants to go, then he should return to his church and keep preaching there, instead of him coming out to be a politician and becoming the governor of the state. And the end of the conclusion was that Iyamu actually decided to beg Oshiomhole and told him that there is no problem, we'll go by your way. If you want to cause tension in the hearts of the people, no problem, let us go that way, if that is the only way that will cause us to win this election. But of course, we all know that is not the way, that is not the best way to win any election. If you must win any election, you must have faith, you must have belief, you must be persistent and persevere, you must be patient as well, because as you walk, you pray and you walk and ensure that you touch all the nooks and crannies of every local government in the state, and hope that you get the best. But going the way of thuggery, well, it could work for you for some time. At the end of the day, it's going to work against you. So guys, like I would always say, if you have anyone that wants to be a part of politics, you have your cousins, your brothers, your sisters that wants to be a part of politics, please tell them not to be a part of the violent one, that they shouldn't be allow themselves to be used when it comes to do with election, because of course you will be abandoned very, very soon. Those politicians will just use you because they're just looking for people to use. Remember that. Remember the clash, the story we brought earlier today to you about the clash from the PDP and the APC. Now, two young youths have been shot. It wasn't the politicians or the candidates that were shot. It is just a follower. And perhaps those that feel that they are committed to their party, they argued so much that they got to the extreme that they had to shoot themselves, which it is, that is a violent way. The politician does not even know you. When you ask now about Godwin Obaseki, if he knows who the guys were, he doesn't know. If you ask Iyamu, even if you ask Oshiomhole himself, he doesn't even know who the guy that was shot. He doesn't know them, and he hasn't even gone to visit them because he doesn't know them. But they are there fighting for things that looks almost unreal. So if you have people that are in Edo State that really wants to take part in this election, tell them not to get involved in any form of violence, because they will be the one to lose at the end of the day. So guys, you know how election always is in Nigeria. So be careful and tell your families, your friends, your neighbors, everyone you care about. Let them understand that is not the way to go. They shouldn't allow politicians to use them. Their children are abroad. Their children are all living very fine. And you allow yourself to be used when it comes to election. You allow your family to suffer and cry over you just because of an election that would last for just a few hours. So it is uncalled for, and we should also advise that Oshiomhole shouldn't go the way of violence. The politicians, the candidates, going the way of violence, it is the wrong way of running an election. And everyone should be advised that going to the extreme because of winning an election is wrong, and it's not going to bring anything good to Nigeria. So my people, you've heard it all from the stables of Saffron Media. Thank you so much for staying tuned. If you have questions, you have comments, please drop them in the comment section. And don't forget to give this video a thumbs up. Do have a pleasant time.